all the Leos out there, hello and welcome to these horoscopes, these general horoscopes for Leo for the month of September 2012. And I was a bit worried, not about Leo, but worried about the fact when you do these general horoscopes and a lot is happening in the general chart, you can talk about a lot of stuff. And hopefully you think that it will be meaningful for some people, hopefully for a lot of people. And during the month of July and August, it was really Pluto-Uranus time because it was triggered by faster planets like Venus and Mars. But as I looked yesterday at the general chart for September, I really didn't see that much happening. And of course, again, that doesn't mean to say that in your personal chart things aren't happening, because you know a personal chart can give you a look at it at a transit, only at a transit can give you so much detail about your specific areas in life that are triggered. So I was a bit worried what I'm going to talk about, but this morning I saw something. I saw something very important that considers us all, and for you it will have in Leo, for you Leos, it will have also a meaning in a specific area of life, and it's all about the dance for the Americans, the dance between Saturn and Neptune, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But first I want to look at the general position of the faster planets. So I'm not going to talk about Neptune and Pluto, and because that's all the things that are not changing at the moment. So I'm going to focus on the faster planet, and then I'll continue with that Saturn-Neptune dance. But okay, what is happening for Leos? Well, the first on a very mundane level, which is very nice, is that Venus is in your sign. Venus is in Leo for approximately the whole month, and that is good. That is good to feel good about yourself, it's good to attract other people. So if you have to do something that is important for you, if you have to profile yourself, if you're applying for another job, if you want that other people perceive you in a good, positive way, it's now really the time to do that with Venus in your sign. Because you are, I'm not going to say that you're not charming normally, but you are a bit more charming than usually with Venus in your sign. Now, what else is important? A lot of activity for Leos is going on during the month of September in your second house. And why is that? Because Mercury is in there, the Sun is in there, and Mercury is really liking the sign it's passing, which is Virgo. So every planet likes a sign in particular, and Mercury really loves it in Virgo, and it can do good stuff in there. So with you, it's always, especially when you have a Leo ascendant, it's probably this second. I say probably because nothing is perfectly divided. The houses can't be perfectly divided. You know, 30 degrees is your first house of Leo and so on. But probably it's in the second house. And when it's in the second house at Mercury, that second house is all about your self-worth. It's all about your talents. It's all about your money. It's all about the things that provide you to live. It's all about that, and that is highlighted by Mercury, the planet of communication. So everything that has to do with planning for a bit, gaining a bit more money, or communicating, thinking about, or really I think planning, thinking about ways to earn some more money, or thinking about ways to show your talents, or things like that are very highlighted. So it's a nice transit for Leos. And what else is going on? Well, Mars is going to for the whole month is going to be in Scorpio. And that is your fourth house. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's your fourth. Mars is your fourth house. And the fourth house is all about your identity, your roots, your family, your home, the environment you live in, the deepest you. It's not always something that you show. And Mars is in there, which means Mars is action, and it's again very happy in Scorpio, because it likes to be in Scorpio. It's in, according to traditional astrology, it's in its own sign. And so when Mars transits your fourth house in Scorpio, it means that you can make deep changes on an inner level, or maybe for other people, a lot of other people, Leos will move, or will try to change their homes, or try to maybe to change other places, and they want to change something. Or a lot of other Leos could say, well, I'm going to change something very fundamental inside of me and put it into action. So that's a very interesting transit too. So these are the transits that's going on a very light level for you Leos. Now, the thing I was talking about is on a bit on a deeper level, and it concerns Saturn. And I probably, during the horoscopes of July, I talked about this Saturn, that it is ending its cycle through Libra. And Libra is for you the first, second, I really have to count because sometimes I miscount. 1, 2, 3. It's in the third house, of the house of thinking and communicating. I probably have said that there is an ending of a cycle and there is a beginning of manifestation, of another way of communicating, another way of teaching maybe, or another way of learning, or an end cycle in the learning period, in the learning not period, but the learning environment, because Saturn in that third house also can mean seriously thinking about stuff. So that cycle is ending, because now it's the last month that Saturn will be in Libra, and then it passes on to another sign. But there is something going on with Neptune. So because if it would only be Saturn there, it could mean that yes, you're gonna get it very easily and in a very Saturn way, because Saturn is about manifestation. It's about clear boundaries. Now Neptune's just the opposite. It's not about boundaries, it's not about clearness, it's just the opposite, and they're making a dance together. Why? In very ancient astrology, there's a technique that is called antition. I'm not going to talk about it in detail, but the only thing I'm going to say is, how can you find the antition point of a planet? Now, as Saturn, for Libra, the antition is always Pisces. So for Libra, planets in Libra, antition planets is Pisces, right? And secondly, Saturn is now at the very end of Libra. Let's say it's the last weeks of September. It's going to be at 28 degrees of Libra. What's the antition point? Well, you have to derive 30 degrees of a whole sign minus those 28 degrees. That gives 2, right? So it means that the antition point of 28 degrees of Libra is 2 degrees of Pisces. And who's there? Who's there at 2 degrees of Pisces? Right, it's Neptune. So that means that Neptune is involved. And when it goes further on 29 degrees, the antition is on 1 degree of Neptune. So it is 1 degree of Pisces, sorry. So it is all connected with each other. Now, what is the antition? It's something that is, when those two planets conjunct in antition, so they're not conjuncting with the real eye, but they surely interact with each other on a very, they like each other actually, but it's hidden. That's the, I don't like the word shadows, because that's such a dark connotation, but I think it's, things are hidden, and these planets, that are conjuncting each other, it means that in the area of life for you, so it is in the third house, communicating, you can have the feeling that you get it, and then after that immediately you don't get it anymore. That is when Saturn meets Neptune, and I think it's going to be important. Why? Because let's say the enlightening won't be this month. It's going to be next month. Why do I think that? Because Saturn and Neptune are not going to be in Antician anymore next month in October, but they're going to trine each other. And that's positive. So I think that now it is the time before the light, and that's always a confusing time. So it has to be like that. So when you feel confused about something concerning the area of the third house, maybe with siblings, maybe with your day-to-day communication, maybe with a study that you're doing, when you feel a bit confused about it, it's normal, and you just have to be patient and try to understand that it has to be that way. That's difficult, isn't it? Especially when we have in our own horoscope a lot of Saturn or Earth signs. But it's all about the planet of boundaries coming together with a planet of no boundaries. So they're trying to understand each other. So and there's nothing better, I think, than coming together of Saturn, manifestation, and Neptune, higher ideals. That's a beautiful thing, because then you can do good work. I think if you are aligned with the higher consciousness, and then you can manifest it, then I think then we're at our highest peak, let's say. So whatever it is that is a bit confusing, it's almost like it has to be that way to understand it later on in a way better. Let's put it that way. So that is for the month of September. Very interesting and exciting month when it considers those two planets, Saturn and Neptune. And it's going to go on. I'm going to talk about it more in October. And thank you very much for listening, you Leos. Thank you very much for the comments, and thank you for the readings that you're ordering. Thank you all for that, and see you soon next month. Bye bye.